Hello and welcome to my channel Life Joy Adventure. Today I have a great honor and privilege to invite a very special guest, and we will be learning from him about Indian spirituality and the depths of Indian spirituality and the knowledge Indian spirituality has to offer to the world. Because as we know that knowledge is infinite, but human life time is so limited. So, what is knowledge? What is real knowledge? What to accept? What to discard? What to do and what not to do? Because everything we do in this life is based on some sort of knowledge. Because without the right knowledge, we cannot even lead a fulfilling human life. So, first of all, before I introduce Dr. Tanaji Acharya, let me give a bit of a brief background about Acharya ji. Acharya ji is based in UK. He is a minister of religion. He's a Vedic priest. He's a Vedic philosopher. He's a Vedic preacher, and he's been involved in the service of Vedic, shall I say, Vedic
Vedic
Dharma,
Dharma.
Dharma for 40 plus years, and he is a BSc Mathematic honors. He's a Acharya of Vedic philosophy. He's MA Sanskrit, and he's a PhD. So really, it's such an honor and privilege to have Acharya ji to spare some time and really share this beautiful knowledge and the dharmic knowledge with all of us. And I hope you will also find it very very useful. So this is an ongoing series. So this is the first in series on what is knowledge within Indian spirituality. And so without further delay, Acharya ji, namaste and thank you. Thank
Namaste, namaste.
How are you,
Thank
Acharya?
you.
How are you?
I'm fine basically. I'm
I
fine.
hope I've not missed anything in your
No.
introduction, please.
I think you are trying to understand a lot more. You have so many questions to questions to ask and lot to learn.
Yes.
And after such a long time studying Vedas and Indian philosophy in depth, finally I come to the conclusion that I know nothing literally, and I feel as I am getting or I'm still a student and I will remain a student for forever. As you were explaining it before earlier, knowledge is infinite, and
Yes.
our life is finite, very limited one. And within such a short time of life full of miseries and life of hurdles, it is very difficult, rather impossible to get that all knowledge, infinite knowledge. But we need more knowledge, and more is better. I always say, more the knowledge, more the happiness. So more is better. But because life is limitless, and knowledge is limitless and life is limited, it is always a struggle for us. And all I say to me and to even everybody is, please just keep on learning everybody, everything from everyone.
Yes.
And this is an endless mission of wise life, happy life. And I'm just a student in that field.
Thank
uh,
you. Yes.
Basically, as you see the nature of human life,
Ji,
uh,
right.
we are human being is a rational human being, it's not an animal, it's a rational animal rather.
Yes.
And we say human being is the noblest creation of God.
Yes.
Noblest in a sense, this life has been blessed with the freedom of thought, freedom of action, freedom of options, and freedom of knowledge. So therefore God has a lot of expectation from this life, and even ourselves and the world has a lot of expectation from this human life. So there are a lot of opportunities and options we have, and if we use them rightly, properly, then we can make this life really more meaningful, more happy for ourselves and for others.
Acharya ji,
As
yes. Sorry, please continue. Sorry.
as you know, the manushya, the manushya is known as mananath, the man,
The man.
especially human being. He is by name, he is known as a rational and thoughtful people who can contemplate upon different subjects, ponder over them, and can find new things in his life, and can learn more things every day from everywhere. So there's a lot of capacity, especially when we come to the definition of soul, especially human soul. I can say when the soul is in the human body, the qualities of human life are like hatred, jealousy, pain, pleasure, knowledge, and action. So knowledge is the identity, and prayatna, karma is the identity of human being, and therefore human being is a jnana yoni, bhoga yoni, and karma yoni. So it's an amazing combination, and therefore human being is known as he is next to God.
He's
Human
next.
being next to God, because
Yeah,
God is like an infinite power, infinite energy, and working as a universal controller, whereas human being can control his own life, which is very atomic, but
limited.
it's an atomic copy of that infinite God.
Yes, yes.
So it's a very interesting. Okay, what
Yes,
do you want to
and
ask?
I was just saying, Acharyaji, like we were talking that right knowledge is important. As you know, this
Yes,
is
yes.
information age. The with internet and everything else, you
Hmm.
know, there's so much of information, which is good. But the problem we have also happens is that you can get good information or you can get wrong information.
Hmm.
So that's a very very big danger. So what I was going to ask you was if you can take us through from an Indian spirituality or Indian philosophical point of view,
Hmm.
what is knowledge, and
Hmm.
like in terms of how do you gain the right knowledge so that you
Yeah,
don't
yeah,
go on the wrong path, because that is also
yes.
important. Otherwise, your goal will, if you go take a wrong knowledge, you can end up somewhere in the wrong direction.
Hmm. Yeah, true. So basically, see, there are so many ways of learning, so many ways of learning. Like one of the ways, as we say, like Vedas is the authentic knowledge. So we can learn a lot from Vedas. Secondly, say if you have any Apta Purush, someone who is authentic, reliable, and knowledgeable person, certainly we can learn from such Apta Purush, like we learn from our parents, our teachers, quite a lot. At the same time, we can learn from our own experience, perception. We can call it, and also we can learn from the perceptions of others a little bit. Perception is like a direct source of knowledge, whereas all other sources are either it is a testimony up to praman, or we can say it's a inference, logic, or reasoning, basically. So there are lots of sources, but according to our Indian philosophy and our Vedas, validation, validity of true knowledge is very important. Though examining quite a lot and always in the course of time, in the course of millions years of time, we have come to realize that Vedas is the most authentic book, Shastra, and Shastras are always known as authentic because they are well experienced and verified. But even then, we always prefer to verify that knowledge. Authenticity of knowledge, examination of knowledge is always welcome. And without that verification, without the validity of knowledge, we don't accept anything. It's not
Right.
just, as we say, Baba Vakyam Pramanam, because it is written in the book, it is right. It has been told by someone, my guru is right. No. Though we believe in them, but unless and until we verify its authenticity, we don't accept anything as such. And if it is really a valid knowledge, real knowledge, true knowledge, knowledge is not worried about any test or any doubt. So every test should pass. Valid knowledge should pass every test of knowledge, and prove that it is always right. It is Sanatan. It is universally true, and therefore we appreciate and we promote the examination of true knowledge, especially Vedas and all our Upanishads and even all the branches of knowledge. This is our Indian tradition of knowledge, whereby we accept the Pramana Shastra, etymology, or Nyaya Shastra is the most important part of our philosophy, Vedic philosophy, uh, which is literally devoted for the examination of valid knowledge. And without examination, we cannot come to the conclusion that this knowledge is real. You are always asking about what is knowledge, what is ignorance. See, knowledge is in as we say in Sanskrit, yathartha gyan, means knowing things as they are and knowing things as they aren't. जो चीज जैसी है उसको वैसा ही जानना, सही अर्थ में जानना इज नॉलेज. उसको हम रियलिटी भी कहते हैं, विशुद्ध ज्ञान, प्योर नॉलेज कहते हैं, और प्योर एक्सपीरियंस भी उसको कहते हैं. एंड दैट प्योर एक्सपीरियंस, प्योर नॉलेज इज मस्ट.
I
We
think
don't believe in any compromise in knowledge. So 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 that authentic knowledge is a real knowledge. Experiential, perceptional knowledge is a real knowledge. And knowledge means knowing things as they are. So it's the simple meaning of that knowledge. And otherwise, everything opposite of real knowledge is ignorance, ayathartha gyan. And we go for yathartha gyan, real knowledge, because real knowledge leads us to liberation from the miseries of life. Real knowledge, true knowledge, leads us to well-being of the human being. And therefore we uh, do try our hard, our level best to go for that authentic, real knowledge, not ignorance. And it is known as in our philosophy, true knowledge, no happiness. नहीं ज्ञानेन सदृशम पवित्र मिह विद्यते, नहीं ज्ञानात ऋते मुक्ति ही. There is nothing purer than knowledge, and there is no happiness without knowledge, and rather more knowledge, more happiness, more ignorance, more miseries of life.
correct.
So, knowledge, the whole base of our Vedic culture, our Indian philosophy is knowledge, knowledge, and knowledge. And therefore, Ved means knowledge, Vidya means knowledge, science means knowledge, knowledge. And we go for mathematical knowledge, scientific knowledge, proper knowledge, real knowledge. Ignorance has no space at all, no space. Faith, but not blind faith.
Not blind belief. Not blind
Not
belief.
blind beliefs. It's not a belief, it's a knowledge.
It's
Knowledge, if see, there are two types of faith. One is faith based upon the fact, another is faith based upon ignorance, blind faith. So faith is important, but whether that faith is based upon the fact or that faith is based upon the ignorance, that we have to make it sure.
yes.
Once in a multicultural meeting, I was speaking to a lady from different religion, and we were just discussing freely. And in the course of our discussion, I started arguing, or rather using reasoning within our discussion. And after a while, that lady told me, please don't use reasoning in my faith, because this is my faith. I don't want to leave it. I want to keep it as it is, no matter whether it is right or wrong, but I love it. But if you speak something like that and you use reason there, then I may have a doubt in my own faith, which I don't want, because we just believe as it is. We don't use reasoning in our faith. So according to even our culture, our faith must be based upon reasoning,
Yes.
some valid knowledge. If it is not valid, we simply discard it. discard
It's
it
time tested. It has come through a lineage system, or we can call it peer reviews, because our rishis have tested this knowledge and they have experienced it. And anyone who follows, has the faith, and they follow the path of this knowledge, they will also get that experience. Am I right in understanding? Because that's the way
exactly
you,
right.
that is the way you will confirm that what they are saying is correct, because your experience will be such. Am I
Exactly
correct?
right. As I mentioned you, though Vedas, we take Vedas as an authentic book, and we don't take Manusmriti and Upanishad, etc., as an authentic book of knowledge. But even then, we apply all the means of validity of knowledge, all the examinations of knowledge, and certainly experience the first knowledge. Everybody must experience that knowledge with the Vedas and all other things, and any sort of knowledge. Experience is the best perception is the best source of knowledge. And if it is really Sanatan, if it is really universal, and if it is really real, everybody's experience must be the same. That is the
Yes.
condition.
So I will just share something with you as well, Acharyaji. Recently, I went on a pranayam workshop.
Hmm.
So the benefits of pranayam. So, as you rightly said, there were 7 people within the group,
Hmm.
and every single when we after we finished our pranayam class, which is mentioned in our scriptures, the Yoga
Hmm.
Sutras,
Yeah.
and other rishis have also mentioned the pranayam. So once we practice pranayam,
Hmm.
Acharyaji, the result was instant. The experience was instant. Plus, as you said, that all 7, 10 of us experience the same thing.
Hmm.
So, so, so
Because,
that validates the knowledge.
yes. And as per our rishis, Maharishi Dayanand especially has mentioned that Sarva Tantra Siddhant. Sarva Tantra Siddhant, the knowledge, the principle, the mechanics, the mathematics, the science, which is equally good for all, equally good for all, which is equally good for the well-being of every human being in the world, no contradictions whatsoever. That sort of one knowledge, one universal thing is applicable for everybody, and it should be well verified, and that is the best, most authentic knowledge. And we should go for that one universal authentic knowledge for all. And if it is a knowledge, it is one for all. If not, see, knowledge
That's
is
right.
one, but ignorance is infinite.
Yes, yes. I mean, this is the
Infinite.
danger, isn't it, Acharyaji? What this is a good point you said, and you brought me to a very, very good point, because at the moment, what's happening is, you see so many acharyas, gurus, preachers in the world, but especially within our Sanatan Dharma, I have never seen people come and they preach, but nobody asks them, is your knowledge authentic, or are you making this knowledge up? And people are just blindly following it. I mean, how? So my question is, people, if they want to learn about Sanatan Dharma, or even people who are within Sanatan Dharma, what would be their test that somebody who's telling this knowledge to us is actually authentic? It's tested in science.
I'm talking in general. In Mahabharata, it is said, Tarko Pratishtha Shrutaya Vibhinna Naiko Munirya Vacha Pramanam Dharma se Tatvam Nihitam Guhayam Mahajano En Gatah Sapanta. What we see in our day-to-day life as well, that every Muni, every Rishi, every book is different, contradicting too much. All religions are very contradictory to each other. There is not much similarity, but rather more dissimilarities are there. And in this situation, common man is confused. Whom to follow, whom not to follow, what's right, what's wrong. So it's a big confusion basically. And therefore it is said for a common man, Mahajano en gatah sapanta. Follow the history, follow the experiences, a bunch of experiences of the past and present rishis and yourself, and see what works, what writes, what is practicable, what is pragmatic, what is real in terms of the results, consequences, and see what is equally applicable to everybody, and which you prove on the basis of your own experience, on the basis of the experiences of the all many actual practice, experience, experiment, and you come to the conclusion, and then you believe it, that's right. Therefore said the dharma, what to do, what not to do, what's my duty, what's not my duty, they are very, 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 very tedious questions basically. If you want to find out, say what our rishis have done and what are the results. At the same time, exactly you follow the same path, follow the same procedure, do the same experiments, and if you come to the same conclusion, and if you do such experiences around in your around the world, and if you find the same experiences, then only you know exactly what to do and what not to do. So experience is the most important thing. And also you do the same experiment in the world as well, now and even in the future. That is the way of really come to the conclusion and find the final reality of life and reality of the universe.
So, Acharyaji, what I understand, or what I understood from what you just said, that Sanatan Dharma, the knowledge, is not frozen in time. The
No.
principles apply in the any time you can apply those principles,
Yes.
but you see the context, you see your current environment, and then you apply those principles. So for example, we cannot, obviously we live in a modern day now,
Hmm.
so 1,000 years ago situation could have been different,
Hmm.
but we apply the same principle
Hmm.
1,000 years ago. But
Hmm.
today we can
Hmm.
apply the same principle, but the situation is different. So we have
Hmm.
to use our brain. We cannot apply the same methods.
Yeah.
So we have to, as you rightly said. So you have
Yes.
to look at the context of
Hmm.
where you are. Am I correct in understanding?
Basically, that is the beauty of universal truths. Universal truths are not rigid. They are as flexible as the life is, as flexible as the world is. In this changing world, there are so many truths which are unchangeable, and also we have to modify that knowledge. We have to change according to the place, person, and time, and make that principle relevant now for the time, a person, and people. So that sort of flexibility is already there, though principles are there in general, but there are some special situations, and in special situations we have to find out what is really relevant now and irrelevant now. If you don't find that relevance of anything and irrelevance of things and thoughts then and then certainly we will be very irrelevant, and that knowledge, irrelevant knowledge, will be very harmful. Especially my topic is what is the relevance of Vedic philosophy to modern society, how to apply principles in life according to place, person, and time. And I will tell you the same principle is relevant to one and irrelevant to others. What was relevant yesterday is not relevant
Relevant
today.
today.
So,
Yes.
relevance of knowledge, its practicality, its a use should be according to the place, person, and time. And if you don't have that vivek, that discriminative ability, then certainly that knowledge again will be the ignorance and the irrelevant, and that is not good for us. So we are
And
very dynamically, we are dynamically should be true. We just don't say like just follow the just the lines and the words of the book, but at the same time we should say and decide then and then, is it relevant now, is it relevant now. So it's a very dynamic truth. And therefore we say, dharmasya tattvam nihitam guhayam mahajano yena gatah sapanta. That right exact dharma, our duty, and what to do, what not to do, is not that easy. We have to find out then and then according to the situation. And if you don't, then you will be in mess. And therefore, always in such confusing situations, look around. You are the Mahapurush rishis, and follow their experiences, and then you follow your path and come to the same conclusion. So we are very aware of that. It is said in Kalidas, by Kalidas, संतः परीक्षा नेतरद भजन्ते मूढ़ प्रप्रत्यनेय बुद्धि. Logical, rational people, scholars, vidwan people always examine therefore every fact and then they follow. But the stupid people, ignorant people, they just follow someone blindly. They have no idea why it is right, why it is wrong, and why should we do and why we should not do. So they follow blindly. So blind following is not right, not good, not beneficial at all. But rather examine everything every time and then make sure you are right. You are right. So that is what the condition and the quality of the Sant, Rishi, Maharshi, and it is the need of even a common man. And therefore, just blind following is not good, but we have to always see, and this is the duty of scholars,
yes,
duty of acharyas, duty
acharyas.
of
Yes,
teachers
yes. I
to
mean, this.
teach the relevance of the thoughts and things to the community then and then. If they fail, then society will follow the blind faith and ignorance, and that is not useful to anyone.
But Acharyaji, this is the difficulty because people who are teaching are, especially in our tradition, as you know, if you go to India, there are so many preachers, right? So
Mm.
the common man doesn't know. So this is what I was trying to say, that I think
Mm.
even if, although in Bhagavad Gita there is, there is a description of of a rishi or a muni. I think Krishna says that how he moves, how he walks, how he
Hmm.
talks. So we should also not believe the person. We should ask questions to him and say
Hmm.
where is he getting his knowledge from,
Hmm.
where is he getting the information from, and just not accepting it blindly,
Hmm.
and
Yeah,
not because they can make any information that they want and they can mislead you. So,
yeah.
so it's important.
The thing is, don't ask rather I say, it's good to know that what is the source of that knowledge. But at the same time, I suggest everybody that please, whatever the knowledge you get from whatever source, please examine it. Without examination, without verifying that knowledge in your own experience, without doing any experiments of that knowledge, do not follow that. And generally, what happens nowadays in the name of religion, people simply follow their messengers. People simply follow their books of their religions without thinking, without being rational, and without doing the experiments. They simply talk about the things of sky and things after death. And sometimes they just, oh, he's a
Imaginary.
great man, follow him. Oh, he's a Siddha Purush, follow him. No, I don't know whether he's a Siddha Purush or not, whether he's an experienced person or not, whether he's a realized person or not. I don't know. I want to make it sure. What's wrong? I want to do that. And unfortunately, as the meaning of the religion is simply faith. I say personal faith. I have no right to say anything to you. You can say it is my personal faith, nothing to do with you. Yes, I agree with you. But when I come to the fact, the dharma and shastra and mathematics and physics and reality, I have every right to ask the question why it is right and why it is not right. I, and therefore, I say, please go above the religion. Just
Yes,
don't follow the religions without understanding. Try to understand and go above the religions, above the faiths, and try to follow that dharma which is sanatan, which is universal, which is mathematical, which is based upon experiences of the universe rather, and your personal experience. And this is how you come to the conclusion, and be wise and be happy. Otherwise, nowadays, you know that because of the ignorance, people are fighting within for nothing in the name of religion because
yes.
they
It,
contradict
it's
badly.
causing, I mean, when propaganda happens,
Hmm.
when countries or societies do propaganda, it causes so much mayhem, as you can see surrounding the propaganda, and that's wrong information. But Acharyaji, just one thing, I wanted to say something. Dr. Uh, Saraswati, Daran Saraswati ji, he's a Vedantic scholar he was the Vedantic scholar from the south, and he said a very, very beautiful quote. He said
Hmm.
that make your own Gita.
Hmm.
Your make your own Gita. That's what, and
Hmm.
I really loved it because you have to take the knowledge, but
Hmm.
don't compare it to anybody else because your life, your situation is different to everybody else. What will apply to them may not apply. It's a very common sense of the thing, but I think that was a very, very beautiful quote. And the
Yeah.
other thing, yeah, just I was also wanted to ask you. Uh, Sorry, I'll just otherwise I forget. And I'm aware that we are running out of time also. Um, when we go and we want to obtain this knowledge,
Hmm.
what should be our mindset? How we should approach this to so that that be the right attitude to
Hmm.
accept
What
right.
I say in general, listen to people but obey your mind. Listen to everything, read every book, but constantly you should be very rational. You should be very open. You should be very honest. You should be very realistic. You should be very pragmatic. If it works, go for that in real life. If it doesn't work, leave it. Be shrewdly practical and pragmatic. That is the right approach. And that's all based upon the relevance of the thought, relevance of the things, and relevance of the people. It's very important that I don't say somebody is bad or good. No. What I always say is what is suitable, what is sustainable, and what is sustainable to me and for everybody, and what is equally good for all everybody, whereby everybody is growing, where everybody is progressing, everybody is being happy in the world. Let us make the world happiness as the criteria of good and bad, and knowledge and ignorance, As we say, कृणवंतो विश्वम आर्यम, संपूर्ण विश्व को आर्य बनाना है, सबको श्रेष्ठ बनाना है. We want to make the whole world noble, happy. सर्वे भवन्तु
Highest
सुखिनः,
goal.
सर्वे सन्तु निरामया. We want to
Yes.
see everybody happy,
Mm.
healthy, progressing, developing. You know, so to me, the real progress of life, real progress of the society and the world is the criteria of every philosophy, every relevance of the philosophy, people, and things. So I just don't favor anyone at the cost of the well-being of the universe or well-being of the individuals. So that well-being, that happiness is the criteria of every goodness, and that is equally applicable in the field of philosophy, in the field of science as well. Even if the science is all right, but if the science is very dangerous to the humanity or the world, I discard it.
Yes.
And
Yes.
the
Very
promise,
true.
the final answer to the question is, therefore, please be ready to accept the truth from
Yes.
everywhere, from everybody, every day, and please ready to discard the untruth every time, all the time. Be ready always. But before that, rightly make sure what's right and what's wrong. Don't be in hurry, no panic whatsoever. Take your time, verify it, think twice, watch twice, again and again, and never stop again thinking and thinking, and always make sure you are right, and practice that knowledge. That is my last message to everybody. Don't full stop anywhere. Always say, so far I could knew so much, but tomorrow I may learn bit more. Tomorrow
And
I will be better more.
yes,
And
beautiful.
I'm learning, so I have an endless space and amount to learn. So I'm just constantly learning, never stop, and that is the right answer. Always remain the student. And I will tell you, not this life, but the lives together are not enough. Even not me, but the world together itself is not enough to know the final reality of this world. And so far, human being couldn't reach to that reality. That
And
reality is infinite, and it's very difficult to reach that state. So I keep that chapter ever open for forever.
and Acharyaji, because we are students, and one approach should be we should have humility. We should always be humble. That that we should respect, and we should have that humility. When gaining the knowledge, rather than you know becoming arrogant, or we know it all. But
No.
yes, and just last thing. I mean, I was just going to say to you, Acharyaji, that this is the beauty of Sanatan Dharma, that
Yes.
we can question, we have the freedom to question and make a choice. And
Yes.
that's the beauty of Sanatana Dharma. And with that, I think we'll let's because we've gone just 30 minutes, Acharya, I think it'll be too long. So I will just say thank you very, very much for coming today and sharing this. I think we made a good start today. I think it's a perfect start,
Mm.
because what Acharya has agreed is that hopefully in future we will be discussing the Indian philosophy. We are doing a series on Indian philosophy, all the darshanas. So please visit us and come to regularly, and we will be posting. We hope to do it at least once a week. This very small, compact, a half an hour session, and they give you an overview of Indian philosophy and how you apply them in real life. And I hope you found today's session also very, very
Mm.
beneficial. And with that, Acharya, thank you very, very much for your time, and we'll speak soon. Thank you very much. Good
Let
evening.
us try. Thank you. Thank you very
Thank
much. Thank you. You're welcome. Welcome. Bye bye.
Okay.